One of the most intimidating steps of building your own tabletop role-playing game is figuring out how to get other people to care. How do you build a community, find people to play with, and convince others to run sessions of your game? Hi, I'm Peter, creator and lead designer of Tales from Elsewhere, and as I approach the 1,000 member mark on my Discord server and an average of 10 or so sessions of my tabletop role-playing game per month played therein, I think it's time that I do a video about my methods for networking and building a community. And those of you keen-eyed enough to notice, I've been sneaking in little networking and social tips within a lot of my game design videos for a long time. A friend of mine, Joshua, over at Milestone Play, pointed out that my previous video on how to find artists for your tabletop role-playing game was kind of secretly also a networking video. So this is my opportunity to do an official community building and networking guide for you and your tabletop role-playing game design endeavors. This video is divided into 3 sections, timestamped below. The first is about why you'd want to consider building your own tabletop role-playing game community. The second is about how to go about doing that, and the third is how to foster or facilitate or grow that community over time. All right, let's hop in and give you my knowledge dump on this subject. Let me know if this sounds familiar to any of you. You've worked on a tabletop role-playing game, maybe you have a draft in Google Docs, and you make a post on Reddit saying, hey, here's a game I've been working on, maybe check it out and let me know what you think. And it's met with mostly crickets or downvotes. Sound familiar? And you might ask yourself, is my game trash? Is there nobody gonna like it? Why isn't anybody engaging with this? Well, think about this. How many such posts do you see and do you read and respond to or dig into their draft? Really, there's so many games out there and so many people trying to build them that it's just a deluge, a noisy deluge of games. And you need to figure out a way to make yours stand out. Additionally, you're probably not anybody well known in the tabletop design space yet, right? You don't have connections or a library of games you've already built. There's no reason for people to take you seriously. And that's why you need to try to build up a community and make connections out there, rather than just throw the game online and hope people check it out. And even if you do successfully produce a game, like crowdfund it or sell it, we as indie designers often don't have the time to build out tons and tons of community content for those games. People like me who have a day job that I do most hours of the day, I don't have time to build out tons of adventures or modules or expansions for the games I make. So I need to have a community that is invested in that game and invested in my process to help build out stuff to do within that game, more content, more adventures, more expansions. You could have a very cool game with a very open license, but if there isn't a community there invested in the success of that project, the chances of people organically making more content for your game is very low. Now, you may be watching this and thinking this is already sounding like way too much work and much too much to consider, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with making games and then just putting them up on itch or DTRPG and letting them do their own thing. There is an amount of organic discoverability on those platforms, but really this guide is for people that want to go beyond that, really want to get the name out there and really push to have a larger product and a larger community surrounding it. Now that you've committed to building a community, let's talk about exactly how. I believe there are 3 main vectors for building a community. 1 is a social platform, 2 is a community platform, and 3 is a product platform. And I'll break down what each of these are in brief. Your selected social platform is a place to post updates to dev blogs, game previews, videos, whatever it may be. And there's a lot of choice to be had there. Some people like doing short form content on Instagram. Other folks do long form content like me here on YouTube. Some folks like a Substack, a blog where they post dev diaries. No matter what you end up choosing, pick one main place to post your social information about your game. Now, you'll see some folks who have a very multi-vector attack plan when it comes to their socials. So they'll have like an Instagram and a TikTok and a YouTube and whatever, and they'll try to post on all of these at once. And that is totally legit, but it can be a lot of work. And most people who are on an individual platform aren't interested in going to a different one from a link you post on them. People who are scrolling through Instagram aren't looking for YouTube videos to watch, right? If they want to watch YouTube videos, they'll be on YouTube. It's just best, I think, at first, to focus on one place that you'd like to post and engage with. And in my case, because I like to talk to the camera for long periods of time, I chose YouTube. I wanted long-form lectures to be the way that I present information. When I say long-form, I mean, like 10 to 15 minutes usually, so not super long. That's my chosen place to post. Now, I do have a Patreon that I post updates on. That's more like behind the scenes, dev diary, unedited videos, drafts of games. That's a special separate place for patrons. But my main avenue is through YouTube. And the reason you want one place is there should be a place that your fans and community know to go to find your stuff. There should be one hub that this is where Peter posts his videos. They don't have to think, is it on Instagram or TikTok or a blog or whatever. It's just, I am on YouTube. YouTube is where my stuff exists. Now, what exactly to post on those socials is a whole other subject. And if that sounds interesting to you, comment down below and let me know. I'd be happy to do a deep dive on any one of these 3 sections if that's what you want. So post down below and let me know. The second vector is your community platform, the place where you directly engage with your community. Now, places like YouTube comments aren't a great place to actually directly engage with your community. Oftentimes there's just too many, or it's not really a good conversation place, it's asymmetrical. So the actual comments on a video or social post often aren't the best place. You need a place for your community to hang out. And one of the most popular places to do that is a Discord server. Now, at the time of recording this video, there's some upcoming controversy about Discord and about its security measures, but we'll set that aside. A chat room, a Discord server, these are great places for people to hang out and discuss your game, your content, but more importantly, for you to connect with. These community spaces act as a funnel. Of all the people that watch a YouTube video, only some of them are going to go another level deeper and join a Discord server. And you want to reward the people who want to get more out of you and your game by giving them a place to do so. Discord servers are awesome. They're a great place to host games, do discussions, post dog pictures, whatever it may be. But they're a great place to set up for your community to come together and hang out. The third vector is to have a game platform or product platform of some sort. You need to have actually a game to play. Just a simple Google Doc of your notes isn't sufficient. You want to have a website, a DTRPG page, a itch page, something that people can go to download a demo or a quick start of your game. And if you want to know how to do quick starts, I have a dedicated video to building quick start packets for your game. I'll put a link down below to that. Very much worth checking out if you're unsure where to start there. But that third vector is important because, yeah, they might be excited about your game now they watched a video, but how do they get it? Where do they go? There should be a single repository of game information you can send them to, and that game information should be of decent quality. And that could be inside your Discord server or anywhere, just so long as there's one place they can go to. But how many of you have joined a content creator or game designer's Discord server and found it to be mostly a graveyard, where there's maybe a weekly or bi-monthly update and not much else is going on in it, where people aren't really engaging with discussions or talking with one another or playing games? It's just sort of a empty warehouse that occasionally a sign gets posted in. That's not what you want for your community. The way to avoid this is quite simple. You must be present and you must give the community something to do. This sounds kind of obvious, but it's absolutely vital. You need to be present in that server. You need to be participating in discussions. You need to be starting discussions. You need to be posting pictures of your pets. The things you want your community to do, you need to do initially. People aren't just going to join your Discord server and create fun things for themselves to do. You need to kickstart that yourself. So what I did is I started these daily discussions about tabletop role-playing game design. I'd post a discussion topic, something kind of meaty, something that had been on my mind lately, and ping everybody who signed up for that role to engage, to give me their thoughts, and I engaged with them. I was an active participant in those discussions. It was the kind of thing that I want people to do in my server themselves, but to show them, I had to get it started myself. Similarly, I wanted people to run games in my server. I wanted them to run sessions of Tales from Elsewhere Clockworld. So what did I do? I ran a bunch of games for community members and got them to play with me. And by starting to connect with people like that and showing them the kinds of activities I wanted to have happen in here myself, they started picking up on that. I'm very blessed to have a handful of really dedicated and awesome community members, a shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Red Richard, who now help facilitate and run sessions of my game every month. But that wouldn't have kicked off if I hadn't been there to show, hey, this is what we do in this server. Because a lot of people who will join your community are people who are there for you. They're interested in your design journey or supporting you or think your YouTube videos are interesting or funny. And if you are not present in the server that they join, they're not going to have a reason to engage. They're there to talk to you. And if you aren't present, why would they stick around? And now, not every server needs to do what I did, which is like game design discussions, but think of things that you'd want to do, that your community is passionate about. Since my videos are about TTRPG design, having discussions about TTRPG design is a natural fit, and there's a bunch of them that happen every day in my server now, because that's what people are here to be invested in, and that's what I provide. Now, I don't have the time to engage in every discussion that happens, and that you don't have to do that, but it requires a commitment to your community to keep that fire going. And now the last piece of actually fostering a community and building a community in general is networking. And I don't mean like going to mixers and meeting people and putting on a suit and tie or something. What I mean is making connections with other people within your space. And there's a lot of confusion, I think, about how to actually go about doing that, so I'll give you the real brief of it. Just as you need to be present in your own community, it's about being present in other communities. Not just a lurker, but a valuable contributor. And what I mean by that is you join other communities not in a cynical way to just post links to your latest YouTube video, but instead engage in their conversations, participate in their playtests, start your own discussions about their game. Be part of that community that they've fostered, not an invader of the community, and you'll find people are drawn to you and then are interested in what you're working on. And that's worked really well for me. I've commented on other people's YouTube videos, I've joined their servers, I've played other people's games, I've been present and contributory to their communities, and now I have this really supportive network of other game designers and content creators similarly situated to me, right? Small-time YouTubers and, people making their own game, just kind of real scrappy folks, just trying to get a product out there, right? And I've found that support network to be great, and I fostered that simply by being cool, being present, and hanging out and being passionate about their projects in a genuine way. You can't approach any of this from a cynical, business-minded sort of method. You need to be engaged and passionate. And look, I know everything I just described can sound like a lot, especially if you are not an extrovert like I am. If you're not accustomed to socializing and chatting in this way, it can seem daunting. But it doesn't have to start big. Start small and dedicated. When I launched my Discord server, there was only a handful of people in it. There really wasn't a lot of attention. My YouTube videos were doing pretty well, but it wasn't anything big. And I just organically started being present in there, hopping into a voice chat and just working on my game, and hanging out with people. And before long, it just builds and builds and builds. And then you can have moderators help you with the server, and then community members jump on board to help run games, and it can build over time. Don't be intimidated by that grand scheme. Just start off small and grassroots and passionate, and you'll find that there's a lot of nerds like us out there who will share in that passion. And I wouldn't be where I'm sitting right now talking to you on YouTube without the community that I've built and their support. Like, people just watching this video, like you, are a reason that I'm able to do this. So when you watch a video or like it, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, all of that contributes to my ability to create games and create content like this. And those who want to go even further could join the Discord server like I've been talking about and participate in the games that get run, the playtests, the discussions. And there's those who want an even further amount of engagement. I do have a Patreon, and on there I post weekly updates, other videos, dev blogs, previews and playtests of things I'm working on, and all of the money from the Patreon doesn't go to me, it goes to this Tales from Elsewhere project. It gets artwork and pays editing and layout. It goes to the creatives that make this whole project possible. So if any of those things sound cool to you, consider liking, subscribing, doing all that kind of stuff, checking out the Patreon, checking out the YouTube. All the videos will be below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this interesting and maybe a little educational, and I will see you here next time on Tales from Elsewhere.